Okay. Hey guys, my name's Claude Phillip. I'm a fourth year student studying Japanese and international relations. I've compiled two images that to me actually represent what I think Japan is, or like my relationship to Japan, I guess, in a form of pop culture, one could say. Okay, so the first image I've got is of Japan's Imperial City, where you can see the traditional buildings in the foreground, also with traditional Japanese pine wood trees, as you can see to the left. Where in the background you've got large buildings, you've got the Marunouchi buildings, you've got many buildings that I don't know capture Tokyo as a very very large city, and kind of like, to me, all the buildings in that Marunouchi Chiyoda area are what Tokyo is as a super city. They're very tall buildings, like 40, 50 floors. You go to the top of them, you can see out like throughout most of Tokyo across, like it's a city that never ends. The reason, again, I chose this photo is just I've always had that kind of connection with Japan, of it being one of those cities that really captures the old and the new. Like, they seem to have just blended Japan together, like, not Japan, sorry. They've blended like the traditional qualities of Japan, as well as just taken like modernization to just new limits. Like, skyscrapers are everywhere. It's a bustling city that just holds tradition, just rooted down. I mean, you go walk into like just little areas of Tokyo and you see like just little shrines dedicated to the many different Shinto gods. And like, being from Sydney in Australia, like, we really, I don't know, I don't have any of that identification to like any background religions, like, and it's really cool to see that tradition being upheld like so strongly in that country, and something that they're so prideful about and they just love. And to me, the image of the Imperial City with the skyscraper background, that just represents what, or the combination of the two traditions and modernization that they have. And that photo to me just really speaks so strongly about the combination of tradition and old and modern practices that Japan has. Okay, now the second image I chose is, one would argue, is a very modern aspect of Japan. I mean, it's basically, from what I can tell, it's a street in Golden Gai in Shinjuku. Basically, it's just representing all the izakayas. I mean, you have fried places, kushiyaki places, wine drinking dens, and to me, that kind of has that nice underground, like, Blade Runner thing feeling that Japan has. I mean, my dad always used to tell me like that Japan's really like Blade Runner, and Blade Runner was always like one of his favorite films. So like, when he first took me to Japan, we were going through all these like little side alleyways with all these nice lanterns, really red lights. Like, Japan seems to love the really red lights, and you just see it and it's so outer worldly. It's just kind of like you're in something from a science fiction film. It's really captivating, and you go into those stores as well, and they're like so small, like 2 by 5 meters, and yet the vibe in them is just great. They're so welcoming, such nice people, and like, you wouldn't find any of this small den out, like an alleyway where there's like about 100 bars. You would not see anything like that in Australia, and to be able to see that in Japan is just so cool. Like, it's just outer worldly, and to me that really represents how Japan can take the idea of a bar and just put it on its own ends. Like, they're in a situation where they don't have many people. It's a very very small country with an abundance of people, yet they managed to get such a small part of land to just have so many bars that can cater to so many people. Like, you could probably fit 1,000 or more people in Golden Gai and Shinjuku, and it's just nuts. And to me, it kind of shows the perseverance that Japan has as a country. Like, no matter what situation they're in, they're always going to find means to make it work for them. And I find that this image just kind of represents that, because you see all this small space, yet an abundance of advertisement, an abundance of like, come drink here, like, look at the vibe we've got going, it's so cool. And like, it really highlights that welcoming aspect as well as like they make do with like even the smallest thing. They'll make the most out of it and make the very best. All right, thanks. I hope you've enjoyed the images, guys. All right, thank you.